Next week's late film is a tense space story about the weary crew in a spaceship who've spent years exploring unstable stars. Their captain is dead, and a menacing alien is on the loose. Dark Star is next Friday night at 11:30. The Queen's birthday honours list was released just over an hour ago. With the details, we now join Mike Mackay.
The list contains 662 names from a wide field of interests, including industry, entertainment, sport and charities. And there are 2 honours for men associated with the Falklands military operation. The recently retired miners leader, Joe Gormley, becomes one of 3 new life peers. Joe Gormley's acceptance of a peerage is certain to be greeted with dismay by some of his former colleagues in the NUM. He retired as president 2 months ago amid controversy from the left over his leadership tactics. The blunt-spoken Mr. Gormley once said if a peerage were offered, he'd seriously consider it, even though he mightn't agree with the present House of Lords. From the world of industry, Sir Raymond Pennock will have no such qualms. The former president of the CBI repeatedly urged boosting the economy, but remained one of Mrs. Thatcher's staunchest supporters. One of the most popular honours will be that of Sir Stuart Pringle, Commandant General of the Royal Marines, who last year lost part of his right leg in an IRA attack. He becomes a Knight Commander of the Order of the Bath. The Royal Marines are currently on active service in the Falklands. And the man charged with recovering the Falklands, Commander of the Fleet, Admiral Sir John Fieldhouse, becomes a Knight Grand Cross of the Order of the Bath. Among the new knighthoods, David English, editor of the Daily Mail, and one of Fleet Street's best-known supporters of Mrs. Thatcher. Another journalist, David Nicholas, editor of ITN, gets a CBE, as does James Anderton, the Chief Constable of Manchester, known for his outspoken views on law and order. James Jardine, who retires as chairman of the Police Federation of England and Wales in October, gets an OBE. He's spoken in favour of capital punishment. Arthur Negus, whose name is synonymous with antiques for millions of TV viewers, also has an OBE. Of the honours for sportsmen, Kevin Keegan's OBE must be the most timely, coming 5 days before he leads the England squad into its first World Cup game. Alan Wells's MBE comes 2 years after he won the 100 metres gold medal at the Moscow Olympics, of which Britain officially disapproved. Fellow athletes Seb Coe and Steve Ovett have already been honoured. Jockey Bob Champion, who won last year's Grand National after a miraculous recovery from cancer, is another MBE recipient. And there are CBEs for Alec Bedser, former chairman of the England cricket selectors, and Dan Maskell, the BBC tennis commentator. Hairdresser Peter Raymond, known as Mr. Teasy Weezy, is awarded the OBE for services to charity, and an MBE goes to Terry Waite, the Archbishop of Canterbury's advisor. His personality and diplomatic skill played a crucial part in the release of Britain's hostages in Iran. BBC Music Panel Game chairman and pianist Joseph Cooper gets the OBE. And finally, the birthday honours list has a name which must arouse pleasant memories for the Queen. Kiri Tikanawa, the New Zealand opera singer whose soprano voice filled St. Paul's Cathedral so magnificently during the royal wedding last year. She becomes a Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire.
Well, in the morning, marking Her Majesty the Queen's official birthday, is the magnificent ceremony with the 1st Battalion Coldstream Guards trooping the colour. And live television coverage begins at 10:40 tomorrow here on BBC One. If you're now going to turn to your radio for company, don't forget that Radio 2 carries on right through the night. And boxing fans may like to know that in the middle of the night, in fact at 3:50, Radio 2 splits, with You and the Night and the Music continuing on VHF, while on medium wave there's live coverage from Las Vegas of the Heavyweight Championship of the World. So that's on Radio 2 medium wave between 3:50 and 4:50 this morning. It's just after 9 minutes past 1, and we're now closing down. BBC One opens up in the morning with the news headlines at 9 o'clock. And now from all of us on BBC One, this is Mike Gamble wishing you good night. I hope that you sleep well, and I hope that you have a pleasant weekend. Good night.